Welcome to the second episode of Tomahawk Talk, a podcast devoted to your 2018 National League East champs, the Atlanta Braves.
Woo-woo.
I'm your host, Kale Diestel, and along with me is my co-host, Turner Mark Walter.
How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody had a great holiday season, getting everything they wanted for Christmas, and thanks for sticking with us for our second episode.
Thank you, guys. Well, as we all know, ever since the Donaldson and McCann signings, it's been a pretty slow offseason for the Braves.
No doubt.
So, today, we're going to be covering some trade rumors, projections, and stuff like that associated with the Braves, and we're going to list our top 7 players who the Braves should attempt to trade for. Turner, you want to get us started off with number 1?
Yeah, for sure. Number one, our dream scenario as the Atlanta Braves fans can hope for. Number one, Mitch Haniger of the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, he's a righty. He's a great power bat. He'd solve all of our issues with a corner outfield and a number 4 hitter. He also has a bunch of flexibility in the lineup. You can move him from 1 to 4. Probably see no decline in production anywhere. He's probably the best aspect of Mitch Haniger having him on our team is that he's under control till at least 2022, which is the next 4 seasons, and I just feel like he brings everything that we need to the table as like our off-season needs, what we needed to address as the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch Haniger is like you said, our dream scenario. Only thing that would make him even more dreamy, make him like Doc McDreamy off of Grey's Anatomy or whatever, is if he was a lefty. But we can deal with that. He's a righty, which is still great. He's powerful. He's a corner outfielder, probably will play right field. That's where he played mostly in Seattle. Allowing Acuna to stay in left and Ender to stay in center. He's young. He's just now hitting his prime. To put in perspective, last season, what he did, he batted 26 home runs. Along with that, he had a 285 average, had 93 RBI, scored 90 runs, all in 157 games. Along with that, he had a 366 on base percentage, pretty great, and had a 493 slugging percentage.
Wow.
So he obviously, like you said, his best aspect is going to be the control and how he's young. I think he just turned 28 the other day.
Yep, he did. He turned 28 on December 23rd.
Yep, just the other day before Christmas. He's a Christmas baby. But yeah, he would be great for a great addition to our outfield. But unfortunately, he would cost a lot, as the Seattle has said. Right now, it would probably be at least 3 to 4 of our top 10 prospects, which I don't think is worth it at this point, just based off what Anthopoulos says, is that we want to, at the same time we're making these deals, to compete now, but also allow us to compete in the future and not ruin what we had going on for us with this minor league system. So unfortunately, until we can blow the Mariners away with less of what they're asking for, it's probably going to be a no-go with Mitch Haniger in Atlanta, but he makes the most sense to be in Atlanta.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Anthopoulos saying he doesn't want to ruin what we have going on now or for the future, so I feel like trading away the whole farm for a guy like Haniger wouldn't be the right idea. But I mean, what you said, if we could try to like just lower their deal, and if they like it, I mean, hey, I'll take it. I'll take Haniger any day if the price isn't too high. Like as you were saying, if we have to go the route of 3 to 4 top 10 prospects, I'm not really liking that kind of deal.
No, I honestly, I think the only way to lower the Mariners' decision on how much Haniger would cost is to include Kyle Seager in the trade, as it's been reported that the Mariners are trying to move Kyle Seager in his hefty contract. However, I don't think there's not really a spot in Atlanta for him to go. The only way, I think, if they do trade and they get Kyle Seager involved in the trade, the Braves obviously would cut Kyle Seager right afterwards.
100%.
But again, the Braves have other positions they need to address, along with outfield being the most important. Yeah. But they have other positions. They can't just put all their money into getting one guy and put their whole farm system into getting one guy. Even though he would be great, it's not likely for a trade to happen at what the Mariners are asking for right now.
No, no
Um,
doubt, no doubt. But
but well, Mitch, it's been nice knowing you, man. I hope the best for you, and I hope somehow you end up in Atlanta.
oh, me too,
But
bud.
right now, man, it's not looking good for you. So hang in there and hang in with that rebuild, whatever they're doing over there in Seattle.
I know.
Um, but all right, so we're moving on to trade candidate number two. Trade candidate number two, Turner.
Ooh, number two, looking at another power outfielder, another power outfield corner guy from the Diamondbacks. His name is David Peralta. David Peralta. He's a lefty, exactly what we were talking about. Like the only downside of Haniger is that he's righty, but he's a lefty power bat. He's very fast. He's got great defensive ability in the outfield. He's under 2 more years of team control. However, it has been reported the Diamondbacks aren't interested on moving him, which doesn't make any sense after trading away one of the best offensive players in the past 5 years away. I mean, it seems like they're kind of going in a rebuild type of sense in my mind. So it makes sense to get rid of, I mean, those guys that you can get for a bunch of prospects that can help you rebuild in the future. But I mean, I would love to see him in I would love to see him in Atlanta. I mean, he had a great season last year. He had 293 with 87 RBIs and 30 homers. Well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Acuna was our
Yep.
highest home run hitter last year, and he missed almost 2 months of the whole year, and he only had 26. So having him alone automatically makes him our best power hitter in our lineup. I mean, I don't see any downside of bringing him in.
No, I think the only thing that's the reason why he's not our number one guy is because he's 31. He was a late bloomer coming out of
Yeah,
the minors. Like Haniger, he's 28. But Peralta's 21. I mean 31. He still, like you said, would be the great addition. He batted 293 with 30 home runs, and like I said, he's got some speed. He's hit leadoff. He's got a decent on base percentage at 352 and a great slugging at 516. I think he would do great in our corner outfield spot.
hmm
Probably what would happen if we got him would he would stay in left field. Acuna would moved over to right field because he played left field in
I like that. Honestly, I
Arizona.
like moving Acuna over to right. I feel like we can get more of his like outfield of I can't think of the
His
correct word.
production.
Yeah, his outfield production. I feel like could be dramatically increased if we move him over to right field.
Yeah, it's. I think he would be the dream scenario. Oh, another dream scenario. However, Diamondbacks for some reason say they're not interested in moving him right now, which I
hmm
understand is that they think they still have a chance. However, I honestly don't see it in that stacked NL West with the Dodgers and the Rockies in there and only
This
getting better.
exactly, and especially if
Um,
the Dodgers are going to get Bryce Harper, their window is, especially after trading Goldschmidt, their window is basically shut.
right for right now. I think honestly, I don't understand. It's not like Haniger, the Mariners. They're thinking is Haniger's still young enough to where maybe he'll still be in his prime when
hmm
we're coming out of our rebuild, kind of how Freeman was for us.
That's true.
However, Freeman was like 24, 25 when we started our rebuild, not 28.
Exactly.
Um, but Peralta, he's 31. I don't know necessarily what they're thinking. I think they still think they can compete, but that's not for me to judge. It's good for them, but like you said, David Peralta would definitely be an ideal situation for us to get an ideal bat to have in our lineup.
One
Just slide
hundred
him
percent.
in our cleanup spot right there, and you'd have Acuna, Donaldson, Freeman, and then Peralta. Not bad at all.
Oh, not bad at all. That looks like a championship winning top four to me.
Yeah, it is. That's what we need. But yeah, so let's move on from David Peralta. We're going to go to who we talk about, Nick Castellanos. We talked about him some last week. He's a righty. He's got a lot of power. He's young, only 26. But the only downfall about him, he plays horrible,
Yeah.
horrible defense.
Oh my
Man,
goodness.
it's pretty bad. But at the same time, Alex Anthopoulos was quoted saying at the winter meetings that having Ender and Ciarte in center field, it allows the Braves to have the luxury to at least discuss the possibility of a corner outfielder that isn't as strong in the field, but adds to our offense. And that's
Exactly.
what we're looking at right now in Castellanos, somebody who can add to our offense. Turner.
Oh yeah, I agree with Alex Anthopoulos' quote 100%. I like what the sort of idea he's going with that last outfielder spot because I mean we did have a wonderful season offensively, but I mean I felt like we were lacking some games and especially in the playoffs. I felt like our run production was not nearly how we were definitely not as effective offensively in the postseason than we were in the regular season. So I feel like getting another offensive guy like him would help us out in those times. I mean, unfortunately, he said he's not that great defensively, but with guys like Inciarte and Acuna who have shown wonderful abilities in the outfield, I feel like we can slide out there.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I feel like another point is Comerica Park, where the Detroit Tigers play, is a weird shaped outfield. So I mean that
Especially in
does
right
not.
field.
Yeah, that doesn't help a lot for a bad defender. It makes him look a little worse. Uh, but but then again, to go along with that, the Tigers wanted a straight up deal of Castellanos for Christian Pache. However, Christian Pache is probably going to be one of our outfielders in the future, possibly as soon as
Exactly.
next year. I don't see the Braves. That's way too much because Castellanos only has 1 year control left. So the Braves will kind of have him as a rental because unless he improves defensively, the Braves would not re-sign him.
Mm-mm.
I just I don't see unless the Tigers come down their asking price, Braves aren't getting Castellanos.
No, yeah, I don't feel like just a straight up deal for Castellanos for Pache. I don't feel like would be good because Pache offers a lot more to the table. He's more of a well-rounded type of guy. Is that what we could see from him in the future? I feel like if we can hold off on dealing Apache, I feel like just keeping him in the system, and then see how we can do in the majors. Maybe sometime at the end of next year, this next season, or at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, I mean, Castellanos, for not saying he's a bad player at all. I mean, you
No,
looking
not
at
at
his
all.
stats right here, batted
298.
298 last season, along with 23 home runs. Go go right along, put him in our right field position. Didn't do
Mm-hmm.
bad. Had a 354 on base percentage and a 500 slugging. Like I said, we could slide him in right into our cleanup spot and would be a great looking offensive lineup.
Oh,
However,
100%.
right now with the price, it's not looking too good like the Braves are going to get him.
Exactly.
But still keep him in mind. We're not saying it couldn't happen. The Tigers could come down, but right now it's not looking like it. And I don't know if you've noticed, Turner, but this offseason, it seems like the theme of this offseason is overpaying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody is overpaying.
It seems like it. Yeah. I mean, I get McCutcheon. I mean that the McCutcheon signing with the Phillies. I mean everybody's saying he's overpaid. I mean he was an MVP a few years ago, but I just feel like with the production he had with the Yankees and Pirates, no, not Pirates. Excuse me, the Giants last year. I just feel like I don't feel like he's worth 50 million over 3 years.
Yeah, I mean he's another guy. But then along with that, with all these trades, everybody's just asking for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants more than what their player is worth for. And luckily, with having a smart general manager like Alex Anthopoulos, it helps. He's not just going like, well, it looks like I'm not going to get what I want, so I better go ahead and get it. And
Exactly.
even if that means I have to overpay a lot, I'm okay if you overpay just a tiny bit for someone that can help
Yeah, if someone
right
has to
now.
be 100%
Like
special.
a Mitch Haniger or a David Peralta, I would be okay because they still have control left
Mm-hmm.
and they're relatively young and it can help right now. But but don't overpay too much.
No, not at
That's
all.
what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, I just noticed that it's just been a weird off season where
100%.
with all these trades rumors that are going on, everybody's asking, and that honestly brings us to our next player
Oh,
available, JT
it's
Real Muto,
oh
baby, in the
Lord.
Miami Marlins.
Oh Lord, not this guy again. Not this guy again.
I mean, hey, he's a righty. He's probably one of the best catchers in the
Yeah,
league.
arguably
I,
probably the most productive catcher offensively in the whole MLB.
uh, but the only downfall is Marlins again. What are they doing?
God,
Asking for too much.
way too much. I mean, when we were reported in 2017 trying to get Real Muto, they just wanted to straight up Real Muto Albies deal. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, let's just trade away for a catcher. Let's just
For
trade.
number
Well,
one
yeah,
prospect.
yeah, for our whole number one prospect in the whole farm system. Seems like a great idea. And thank God we did not do that because Ozzy Albies had an insane year last year.
Yeah, Marlins, they're a crazy bunch of people down there with
Mm-hmm.
Derek Jeter. I feel like the whole reason why they're wanting people to overpay right now and why they're asking for so much is because they lost their first two trades with Giancarlo Stanton, Marcell Ozuna,
Mm-hmm.
and Christian Yelich. I mean, you look, Stanton and Yelich are the 2 reigning National League MVPs.
Yep, back-to-back years.
And Marlins, listen to this. The Marlins do not have a single prospect in the top 100.
Out of all those trades?
They do not have a single prospect in the top 100.
Oh my gosh.
Not a single one.
Jeez, they flubbed those up so bad.
Yeah, it's man, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. They do not have a single prospect in the top 100.
Well, I mean,
And that's their whole thing, is that's why they're over that's why they're
that's
asking
why
so
they're
much
asking for so much. I mean, I feel
because
like with the Braves are the best trade partner for the Marlins for Realmuto, since they have no players in the top 100. For a trade for Realmuto, maybe we can give them 2 guys inside the top 100 for them.
yeah, I'm all for Real Muto. I mean, he adds to our offense, and I mean, I'm not. Let me show you a little something right now. I've got a little mock trade. We've been working on something that we would be okay with. So a JT Real Muto mock trade would be we get JT Real Muto, obviously. However, we would have to give up Kyle Wright, who's our number 2 overall prospect, right-handed pitcher. He's number 29 in the top 100. I'm sad to see him go. But out of our top 3 prospects is Mike Soroka, Kyle Wright, and Ian Anderson.
Yeah,
I think Ian Anderson and Mike Soroka have the highest ceilings
100%.
because of their age. Kyle Wright's 23, Soroka and Anderson. Soroka, I think, is 20, and Anderson's 19.
Yeah.
So I think out of those 3, Kyle Wright's the more likely to go. He's still a great pitcher. Like I said, he's still number 2. Along with him, it would be Colby Allard, who was one of our top prospects. He's moved down to number 10 after a rough major league debut. He's number 10 overall in the Braves system, number 100 overall in all of Major League. He's a lefty. I think he's still got the ceiling to be a high-end starter. He can go to the Marlins. He can start right away. I think that would be a great pickup for them. And then also to add a little depth to their outfield is Israel Wilson. He's our number 23 overall prospect. He's an outfielder. He just adds a little more depth for them in that outfield. They have a young outfield going on. I'd just say bring him in to compete. He had good minor league numbers, good fall league numbers, Arizona Fall League. I say just throw him in right there. And that's a mock trade of what I would be willing to give up for JT.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, we're not giving away too much, but we're still giving up some valuable pieces that we could use for the future. But in return, we would get probably the most productive catcher in all of the major leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel better about that than trading Soroka and Austin Riley, just because Austin Riley, I'm not saying we're set at pitcher, but we have 11 guys who could start for us on day 1 in the rotation if needs be, they can start for us. So I feel like Austin Riley, we don't know what's going to happen with Josh Donaldson this next season or Johan. So I say you keep him. He could be our everyday starting third baseman if nothing goes right this season or next season or anything like that. Mike Soroka, like I said, has one of the highest ceilings. I just don't see trading him as a good choice right now.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a fair choice. I understand, like I said earlier, you would have to overpay on some, but as long as you're not overpaying too much. And that's kind of what I feel like with that deal right there.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Real Muto last season, he batted 271, I believe.
277.
277 with 74 RBI, 74 runs. Again, slide him right into our cleanup spot.
Oh, man.
Boom.
Perfect.
So, yeah, but enough about JT. He's, like I said, until the Marlins. I know Mark Bowman and Craig Mish. I think me and you joke around saying we want to set up a fight between those two.
I'm Craig Mish, Mark Bowman. If you guys are both listening, please hit me up. I'd love to get this fight squared away with y'all because I mean, you guys are just reporting the exact opposite information. We don't know who to believe, and obviously, as the winner of this fight, your opinion would have more value over the others. So.
Yeah, and to go on about talking about Craig Mish and Mark Bowman, what they're doing right now, honestly, I think it's a mixture between both. I don't think the Braves are active right now in the Real Muto sweepstakes. I don't think they keep changing their offer. No. What I think is they've already put their offer out on the table and said, call us when you're interested. This is our offer. We still would like JT, but we're not going to keep upping to get JT. So call us when you're interested or
Exactly.
want to negotiate.
Because
However, Craig Mish kind
Craig
of reporting saying that the Braves are active, but I think that's as active as they are right now.
Exactly, like Craig Mish, he hasn't done it the past couple days, but I know for like a whole week last week he would post like for entertainment purposes only percentages of what are the most likely teams that Realmuto will land on, and every single time he had posted an update, the Braves were always at the top with 35%. And I mean, I just feel like even with like I believe Mark Bowman with him saying like we're not active on him, but I feel like even with the offer that we put down on the table and just let them sit and like think about it, I feel like it's the best deal that any team can offer, which is why Craig Mish is giving us such high odds of landing him.
Yeah, and as off season goes on, all these catchers are signing now. Teams
Hmm.
will stop falling out, as the Mets did stop falling out of the JT sweepstakes.
Yep.
So I think the price will go down, and they'll realize, hey, let's get back going with the Braves. So honestly, I do believe there's a good chance of seeing JT on our opening day roster next season.
Me too,
Uh,
man.
but all right, so next off, we're gonna start getting some guys that you have probably never heard of.
Yeah.
So we're starting it off with Jose Leclerc.
Yeah, Jose Leclerc. He was he had been with the Rangers organization for a long time now. But the Rangers with them trading what was his name?
Keanu
Yeah, they traded him to the
Keela,
Pirates, and then once they traded him to the Pirates, that offered Jose Leclerc to take over that primary
closing.
closing role for the Rangers. And boy, oh my, after the All-Star break when they made that trade to the Pirates, he exploded, man. I remember you were talking about earlier. He had a sub 1 ERA coming out of the bullpen.
He had second half of the season. He had a 0.73 ERA along with a batting average against at a 110
Oh man.
and a on base percentage of 0.198 and a slugging of 0.195.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you
He
can't
turned it on.
you cannot really ask more from a closer than that. I mean, I mean, there's really not more much we could say after that. I mean, he still has a bunch of years under team control. I'm sure it's at least, I'm pretty sure it's at least 4 or 3
Yeah, he would not be
years.
a free agent until 2022.
Same with
This
Haniger.
coming season, he will only be 25.
Mm-hmm.
He will be 25, 26, and 27 and 28 through his 4 years of control.
Oh man.
So he is young, and I think he would be a great, great addition to the Braves bullpen.
100%. I mean, I know for a bullpen pitcher, I know I was looking at his walks per 9 innings. It's 3.9. But I feel like if we get him in, it's already an improvement in our bullpen with the amount of walks and stuff that we had.
Yeah, let me look real quick. I know his walks per nine were a little high for a bullpen guy, like you said. Strikeouts per nine, 13.27.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he had a
Jeez.
FIP of 1.90. And as a closer and as a reliever, as a part-time both, he had a 2.5 WAR.
I mean,
2.5
how do you
WAR.
have
That is what Dansby Swanson had.
Yes,
and he was a full-time offensive
yes,
player.
and Leclerc would come in 1 inning every single game. Not even every single game.
No, he only pitched 57 innings.
Yeah, he only pitched 57.2 innings, and he had just as high as a WAR as Dansby Swanson did last year, which baffles me coming from a relief pitcher.
Yeah, so I think I don't know how likely the Rangers are. I know there's been reports saying, hey, we should consider rebuilding after losing Adrian Peltre and trading Jerks and Profar. However, I'm still not 100% sure of their full intentions. If they do rebuild, I am sure he will be the first to go, as he has the most to offer
100%.
on the market. And I'm pretty sure the Braves would offer not a lot, probably not a top 10 prospect, but two top 100 fringe prospects. I'm for sure.
I could roll with giving away two of those type of guys for a guy who is just
with 4 years of control
with Leclerc, and especially with a 2.5 WAR coming out of the bullpen. Man, I'll take that. I'll take that in a heartbeat.
That is what I'm saying. It is a major upgrade in our bullpen. But I'm not saying our bullpen. I think our bullpen will be better this season, but that would only make it that much better.
Hmm.
But he would be another dream bullpen scenario. But next, we got a familiar name who most of y'all have maybe heard of,
Yeah,
especially after
especially
watching
yeah,
last
postseason.
offseason, the postseason. Along with that, he's a familiar name. He's from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Jock Peterson.
Yeah, Jock Peterson. I mean, he's been pretty productive. I mean, in 2016, he had that insane first half of the year, and then he kind of sort of fell off from there, and has been around that same level as where he left off in 2016. But let me pull it up real quick. He had a 248 batting average along with 25 homers and 56 RBIs. I mean, he only played 148 games for them because I mean, he's not the best. He's not the best against lefties. The same. This is the same deal with Ender, but I mean, I feel like we can get a power bat like him with how productive he could be, especially in SunTrust Park with the short porch in right field. I mean, just kind of short, but
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, you get what I'm saying. I feel like he
Hitter
could,
friendly.
yeah, hitter friendly. He could benefit greatly being in SunTrust.
Oh yeah, he's I mean, I think this is probably actually the most likely player to get traded to the Braves. Out of
Hmm.
our top six so far, he's number six. Out of our top six, he's the most likely to get traded to the Braves, in our opinion. Just
Yeah,
because, especially if the Dodgers have so much depth
in the
in the
out
outfield
so
right now.
much.
And they've already traded Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp, and they
Hmm.
have that much more depth.
Exactly.
So
They still got Chris Taylor who can play middle infield. He can play any of the outfield spots. Kike
Kiki
Gavilan
Hernandez,
who can literally play any position on the field. And they
I think he's
also
even backup catcher or something like
God,
that. It's
honestly,
crazy.
I felt like I saw him everywhere last year for the
Cody
Dodgers. And they
Bellinger
have
can
Cody
play
Bell. Oh my
center field.
goodness.
Um, Max Muncy can play the corner outfield spots.
Hmm.
And then, especially if they sign Bryce Harper or let's say they trade for Castellanos, then boom. I honestly think Jock Peterson's gone, and I think the Braves would make a perfect trade partner for.
I
He's a
agree.
corner outfield, like you said, with some pop in his back,
Hmm.
25 home runs. Steamer is projecting him next season to hit 26 home runs and a 249 average.
Not
And
bad.
honestly, not bad at all. I mean, what we're looking for right now is somebody who has that pop in their bat.
He definitely has it. If we saw how it was in 2016 before he got called up, like right after he got called up until the All Star break. I mean, he was mashing the ball all over the place. I mean, I would love
Yeah.
to get him in Atlanta if we could for the right price.
I would. And not only that, he's got 2 years of control left. He's like
Hmm.
David Peralta, but the difference between him and Peralta
He's
is
younger.
that Jock Peterson is 26.
Yep.
He will
Yep.
play his 2019 season at the age of 27 and 2020 at 28. And off of next, he's affordable too. Where are the Dodgers at right now? MLB trade rumors are projecting his arbitration next year to be 4.3 million. Not bad
Oh
at all.
no, not bad at all.
Very, very
With
affordable.
the kind of production I feel like we can get out of him in Atlanta, I feel like that is not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm all for getting him for the right price, like you said. Mock trade I have for him to be Kyle Moeller, who's our number 12 overall prospect. He's a lefty. He's MLB ready. I mean, I just feel like with all of these pitchers in front of him, Kyle Moeller, um, Moeller, excuse me, he just doesn't have that good of a chance to get into our starting rotation or even our bullpen.
I agree.
But he's still very productive in the majors. I mean, the minors. So I say trade him. Good trade piece. I know you said that you're sad to see this guy go. Grayson Janista.
Yeah.
Um, he's an outfielder. Like I said, add a little more. He's young. Add more depth for the Dodgers, even though they don't need none.
Hmm.
But still could use some minor league depth. And then along with that, I actually have them trading along with those two prospects, Tyler Flowers. I think the Braves, if they do get JT Realmuto, they will make this trade and send Tyler Flowers to the Dodgers to
Yeah.
provide the Dodgers that depth because Dodgers were hot on the JT Realmuto deal, and now they've cooled off ever since. Corey Kluber, Bryce Harper, some other guys have come on the market. Nick Castellanos have
Yep.
come on the market. They've cooled off on the JT Realmuto sweepstakes.
Yeah.
So I
Get.
think Tyler Flowers is an
Hmm.
upgrade over Austin Barnes.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can throw him in there. You're gonna have those guys platooning out like how we had Kurt and Tyler doing last year.
So I think that's a fair trade. I think that's a good trade, and that's kind of basing off of the trade of what they did with the Reds for Puig and Kemp. I understand they only have 1 year left on their deal, but still, I feel like the Reds ran away with that deal with also getting Alex Wood. Um, I mean, it's. I think that's a fair enough deal for the Dodgers. And it's not giving up too much either. And honestly, I think you would actually plug either Peterson in the 1 hole or in the 4 hole, depending on what Snitker and AA want. Peterson led off whenever he was with the Dodgers, and I believe he actually had some of his best production from
Yeah.
the batting leadoff. Batting leadoff, he hit not his best production, but he hit 239 with 18 homers. You could put him at cleanup. He batted 250 there with no homers there, but you can move him up and down the lineup. But I think he would be 1 through 4
Yeah,
um,
for
if he
sure.
was with us, just based off of his power.
And one thing I remember from him this past season, excuse me, was the when we were playing him game 1 of the NLDS when he hit that leadoff home run off Fulte, and I was like, ah, here we go, here we go.
Yep, I
It's gonna
that
be
kind of
it's gonna
set
be
the
one of the
tone.
it's gonna be one of these series.
Yep, it kind of set the tone. But yeah, he would be. I think he's the most likely out of all of our 6 that we listed so far to
Because I
be.
mean, with the way that the Dodgers dumped Alex Wood, Matt Kemp, and Yasiel Puig like that to the Reds for to just clear up a bunch of salary and outfield spots, makes it seem all inevitable that they will sign Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I think Bryce is now the favorite there, which is good. Get him out of the National League East. We already got to
hmm
worry about. I mean, I still think Nationals will be decent. I mean, they
Yeah.
added more pieces to the rotation and catching spots. Along with that, the Mets added. I hate the Mets, but the Mets added Cano, who will still be
Somewhat
usable, and then
productive, yeah.
And then Edwin Diaz, who's the best closer in all of baseball right now. And then the Phillies are just the Phillies; they'll always have our number, and I
Yep.
think they've improved, adding along Gene Segura and possibly Machado or Bryce Harper or somebody else in the outfield, and Andrew McCutchen.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
did see reported yesterday. I can't remember who I saw reported it on Twitter, that both Bryce Harper and Manny Machado prefer no, well, they prefer not going to Philly, which which is perfect for us. I mean,
yeah,
get those two guys out of the Philly rumors, and I can worry a lot less.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, all right. So our last guy on our top 7 is Robbie Ray of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Robbie
What can you tell
Ray.
us about Robbie Ray?
Oh man, I can tell you a good bit about Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray, he's been with the Diamondbacks for if he stays with them this next year, it'll be his 4th year with them. Most notably in 2017, he emerged as an ace pitcher. He had 15 wins with 5 losses, a sub 3 ERA, 289. He pitched 162 innings. He had over 200 strikeouts. I mean,
Yeah, I mean exactly.
if he can pitch like how he did in 2017 as a possible Cy Young candidate, bring him over to Atlanta in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and so I mean, the Diamondbacks have actually been reported that they are more likely to move Robbie Ray than they are David Peralta.
hmm
Robbie Ray is a lefty. He's got a big curve, like you said, a breakout season in 2017. I think he would be a quality 2 in
Yeah.
our rotation. I say if that happens, it would be Fulte 1, Ray 2, Gosman 3, Newcomb 4, and then either Tukey or Soroka in the 5.
Yeah.
Probably more likely Soroka.
Yeah, more than likely
Um,
Soroka, because
but
I've been hearing more reports of moving Tukey over to the bullpen. That's probably where they most like him the most. But I mean, he was still good pitching starting for us last year. I think he started what 3 or 4 games,
3 or 4, something like
Yeah,
that.
he didn't know. And I remember him. He wasn't doing too bad. I mean, the game he pitched against the Marlins,
His first
I
game of the
remember
season.
watching. Yeah, his first game, he had like 4 or 5 shutout innings, and he looked great. He looked great.
Yeah. But yeah, so Robbie Ray, he has great strikeout potential. Doesn't walk as much, which is good. He averages 12 strikeouts per 9, about 4 walks per 9, which
Not
is
bad.
great. And honestly, if he does the sub 3 ERA again, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But as a number 2, we are looking for a 3.5, anywhere between a
Ex-
3.5 to 4
yeah.
ERA. Just somebody to add a little more depth in. He's cheap. He's affordable. I
Exactly.
think let me
Steamer has him in as 11 wins, 10 losses, and a 3.66 ERA.
exactly.
So, I mean,
Let's
perfect
see.
number two for us in that
Yeah, and I
sense.
mean, like I said, he's cheap. He's only projected arbitration wise 6.1 million next season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not bad. We'd have control of him for 2 more seasons. So 2009, 2020. He's young. He will be turning 27 next season. So I mean, he's a great. Like I said, he'd be a great lefty, great addition. Diamondbacks have been reported that they are possibly interested in moving him, that they were listening to offers, while on the other hand, they were not listening to any of the David Peralta offers. But that's not for me to judge again. But I say a mock trade for him. What I would like is we'd get Robbie Ray, maybe prospect or international money, something like that. Then we would give the D-backs Luis Gohara. As everyone knows, he's a lefty. He's our
Yeah.
number 7 overall prospect, number 78 overall. I think he's got a great future, a good future ahead of him. He just didn't turn out the way he wanted to last
No,
season.
yeah.
I think a new beginning, a fresh start would be good for him. I know he had issues with his weight. His father had passed away right before the season started. Just wasn't a combination of everything. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for
Yeah.
Luis Gohara last season when he was supposed to make his major league debut and be a breakout year. But I
100%.
think, but he's still got great potential, is what I'm saying. So I say give them Luis Gohara, who's got great potential. He's still young. Then Travis Demerate. He's an outfielder for us. He was supposed to be our next big thing along with Acuna. Never panned out. Still good. He's number 22 overall in our system. I say send him there, add a little more depth. And then along with that, I have a familiar face saying goodbye to us. You want to know who this familiar face is?
Who is this familiar face you were talking about?
Julio Tehran.
Ooh, okay, okay,
I
okay.
think Julio Tehran will be the backbreaker in this deal because what did the Diamondbacks say? What do we not understand is that the Diamondbacks have said we're not rebuilding. We're still going to try to compete. Julio Tehran still allows you to compete.
Yeah, 100%. I
He's
mean,
still
even
a stellar pitcher. He's not what the Braves are looking for.
mm-mm.
He's not hasn't panned out. He's young. He's 27. I say put Julio Tehran in there. He's got 2 years left to control. Luis Gohara, Travis Demerite. I know that's an overpay, but like I said, Julio Tehran will save us 11 million
Oh
off of
yeah,
our
that helps a
payroll.
lot.
Allows us to be able to, maybe if we need to compete, to sign I don't know, say like a relief pitcher, a Cody Allen or something like that,
Hmm.
or we just have all this extra money to make bigger moves, or say take on somebody like a Corey Kluber.
Exactly, which
But
brings us into our last sort of like honorable
honorable
mention
mention.
type player because I know with the way that the rumors have been going that the Indians are probably a little more or less likely to deal Kluber, even though Padres have reported of having a bigger voice than what we had originally thought in the Corey Kluber, Trevor Bauer type sweepstakes. But I mean, Corey Kluber arguably is top five pitcher in all of the MLB. We know what he brings. He's got a nasty breaking ball. He's got some good velocity on his fastball still left on him. But his money maker is that curveball, his breaking ball, his strikeout numbers are insane. I mean, he won the Cy Young. What was it 2015, 2016, something like that?
I
I
think it was
couldn't.
26. I think
Yeah,
it was either 2016 or 2017, something like
yeah,
that.
something I couldn't remember exactly what year, but I know he's for sure a Cy Young winner. I mean, we know what he can do as he demonstrated in the year he won the Cy Young. So I mean, I just feel like the asking price for him that the Indians are going to be wanting is way too high than what we're going to want
All right,
today.
so Corey Kluber won the Cy Young in 2017
Okay.
and 2014.
Oh, that's right. He did win it in two
So he
times.
won in 2017. Listen to his numbers right here: 18 wins, 4 losses, 203 inning pitches. He struck out 11.71 per nine,
Oh my
while only
goodness.
walking 1.59 per nine.
Oh my goodness.
Along with that, he had a 2.25 ERA and a FIP of 2.50.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Insane numbers. Insane. I
So
mean, that was only 2 seasons ago. So
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, he's still in his prime. He's still got a lot left in the tank. The whole reason is why that he's possibly getting traded. It's not because he's going downhill or anything like that, but because the Indians are trying to make cap space, which I don't completely agree with because they have a team that can win right now. They're
100%.
trying to
Yeah.
make cap space. However, what they want in return is someone who can contribute right now in the outfield. And unfortunately, that would probably mean Ender and Ciarte would have to
Yeah.
go, or let's
Unfortunately.
say a Johan Camargo too, or Charlie Culberson, something along the lines of that. I don't think it's logical for the Braves to make that trade because, as Alex Anthopoulos said, we're not trying to subtract from our major league winning roster, but trying to add on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't see trading Ender right now. We don't really have that. We're still trying to find another outfielder.
100%.
We don't have a viable option to say be our whatever, to be our come up and step into Ender Ciarte's place.
Yeah.
We're trying to find a corner outfielder to replace Nick Markakis. So I mean, as much as good as he would be and would be our true ace, what we've been wanting and missing for a while,
Mm-hmm.
it just won't happen. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think.
just
But I
feel
would
like-
still love for it to.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine the scenes in Atlanta if Corey Kluber got traded here. But I just feel like with what AA has been reported saying, like you mentioned about how we're not trying to get rid of anybody from the major league roster, which I'm sure it's exactly what the Indians are going to want for a type of player like this. Which I mean that. I mean, if I had a guy like Corey Kluber on the Braves and we were looking at trading him, I would want major league ready players too. I wouldn't want just prospects. But a deal for Corey Kluber, I could see a mix of a couple prospects within maybe fringe top 100, maybe a little maybe in the top 100, but not as high as others, and a couple MLB ready players like you said, maybe like an NCRT type deal.
Yeah, fortunately, like I said, we'd love for it to happen. I don't see it happening as they've been reported that Corey Kluber, that like the Dodgers are offering their number one outfielder prospect, Alex Verdugo, in the deal, and the Padres, Manuel Margot in the deal for them, who are both have seen some time in the majors, but are still. Well, I know Verdugo is a prospect. Manuel Margot, I think last year was his first season or something like that. So I don't know if the Braves can necessarily compete with a deal for Corey Kluber. That's why he's our honorable mention. But just to go back over our list again, we have number 1, Mitch Haniger, number 2, David Peralta, 3, Nick Castellanos, 4, JT Realmuto, 5, Jose Leclerc, 6, Jock Peterson, and 7, Robbie Ray, and an honorable mention for Corey Kluber.
Yeah, I'm just saying, any of you Braves fans listening right now, we get any of these 7 guys, just know there's nothing but good to come from it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, all right, guys. We also want to let you know that our new website, Atlanta Sports Page, should be up and running sometime shortly. Make sure to keep up with all the updates on that through our Instagram page at Atlanta Sports Page or at ASP Braves for all your Braves news, both on Instagram. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for episode 2 of Tomahawk Talk. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Diestel Kale. And Turner, you want to plug yourself?
Sure thing. My Twitter is at M3_Turner. Go ahead and give me a follow as well. Well, me and Kale both appreciate all you guys for listening to our second episode of Tomahawk Talk. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And yeah, peace out, everybody.
Chop on, baby.
Yes, sir.